Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 17
17
of the Calypso Cigar Review Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Luna, along with Randy Rankin.
Hey, Brandon.
How's it going today, Randy?
Doing well, doing well.
As always, at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas. And, if someone was wanting to call the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge, how would they do that, Randy?
They would pick up their phone, and they would dial 972-761-9903.
Excellent.
We would hook them up.
Hook them up. So what are we reviewing today?
I've never had this cigar. The Aroma De Cuba, Amor. I was smoking it in the Magnifico size?
Yes, we are smoking the Magnifico size, which is a 6x52.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get those details.
Our first Ashton review.
Yes, this is an Ashton cigar, but this is a Pepin blend.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like the Don Pepin, or as some people call him, Don
Pepin,
Pepper.
Or
Pepin, Pepper, whatever.
Yeah.
He does a lot of peppery cigars, so be expecting some pepper on this one.
Now, was this a Fuente also? That Fuente makes it? No, because Pepin makes it for him.
Okay. So Ashton worked with legendary Don Pepin to reblend the base La Aroma de Cuba stick.
Oh, okay.
Aroma de Cuba, whatever. Cuba Gooding. I don't think Cuba Gooding Jr. had anything to do with this, right?
No.
So it's Cuba. Okay.
I said Cuba because...
And this is the Magnifico size, which is the 6x52. And we're talking about a wrapper, which is a Mexican-Cuban seed. Binder and filler are Nicaraguan. So this is right in our wheelhouse.
This is going to be a special spicy thing.
It's going to be delicious. Have you cut yours and lit yours
I've
yet?
cut mine. I haven't lit.
I am cutting right now.
I'm lighting as we speak.
Cold draw is really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Good opening taste.
Yeah, it's really sweet. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's that lighter.
Mm-hmm. The adult proof or Brandon proof lighter.
Brandon proof lighter.
Give it to me.
No, let me see. I got to figure this out.
No, you're not even close.
Stupid ass lighter.
You're not even close.
This is the worst lighter in the world. Why do you have that lighter?
Because it works.
Because it works. What is that for? Like melting cakes and shit? What is that for?
Creme brulee or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a creme brulee lighter.
It's a mini micro torch or whatever.
But is this actually for cigars, or was this just purchased from like?
It's multiple usage. We sell a lot of those to colleges and such. For and dentists. Dentists use it a lot.
For lighting beakers and stuff.
I guess so. This is a tasty treat to start off with. Nice.
First draw on that is really cocoa-y.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of there's really no spice at the start for me though. Are you getting?
I'm getting a little spice, but not. I mean, I'm sure it's going to get spicier, but. I retrohaled, and there was some
spice in the retrohale. Yeah,
there was some spice.
Yeah, but very cocoa-y. Yeah, I like it. I've had this before, but it's been a while. This won some awards, I guess a couple of years back.
Okay.
It was like number 2 or number 3 behind the Prensado, I think.
Oh, okay. Was that the Amor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it was number 2. It came in number 2, the year Prensado won.
Yep. And I remember liking this a little more than the Prensado at the time. So, but I like Nicaraguans and stuff. So.
Yeah. So is it San Andres? It just said Mexican.
It is San Andres. So yeah. Little cedar on there too. Little cedary.
Yeah, I'm picking that up.
My burn is I got like half of it lit there.
Yeah, terrible burn.
That's my fault for lighting it. But it's gonna catch up because a good cigar
will catch.
No matter how you light it, will catch up. You have a little burp there?
Yeah, a little hiccup thing. I tried to do it off mic, but I think it picked up some of it.
Yeah, you're like a little. That's okay. Yeah, so that's a tasty little creature here.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Oh, just catching up. Had the vacation, so I'm catching up on all the forums and catching up on all the editing of podcasts and trying to catch up on some shows, but that's not really working out for me.
Right. Yeah, I've given you dozens of things to watch.
Mm-hmm. And I've watched 0 of them.
Well, you watched some of that go on. But
yeah,
of course, it got canceled like the weekend.
Yeah, my wife's watched more of that than I have. But
it's a funny show. I hated that they canceled it.
Yeah, I'll watch the rest of that. I liked what I've seen so far of it.
Yeah, and they end the season well enough that it feels like you watched the whole series. And
okay,
that's good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is already correcting itself.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's box pressed.
Wide open draw on it.
Oh yeah.
Very good draw.
A lot of smoke.
Yep. Yeah, this is actually pretty mild for a Pepin so far. I mean, it's going to get a little pepperier as we go, I'm sure, but
well, Ashton doesn't generally make or have very strong cigars in their line anyway.
Yeah,
So.
Ashton is mostly a mild cigar maker, and
Right.
that brings us to some
Well, they
of
don't
the,
make any of their cigars. They're
well, yeah,
distributor, I guess. Well, their classic Maduro, I guess, is okay.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just too pricey for what you're getting in my book.
So we got some cigar news to go over here, and this is from CigarAficionado.com. They always have a lot of good cigar news, so we'll go over a couple things. There is something about, in relation to Ashton, so we'll talk about that real quick. They are releasing an ESG 24-year salute.
I've heard about this.
Yep. So it is a 24-year salute, a 6 by 5/8 inch 47 ring gauge. So it's a good size,
Yeah.
double tapered perfecto.
Ooh.
So that sounds kind of cool. And it is, the estate sun-grown, which, you and I are really not big fans of sun-grown, but...
The VSG, the Ashton VSG is a nice smoke. It's not very strong, but it's a nice smoke.
Yep. I haven't had an ESG yet, so that might be something to try down the line. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a Dominican tobacco made in Santiago, Dominican Republic, and it's a Fuente made cigar. And the price, it says, existing 4 sizes, expect new ESG to retail in the $20 to $25 range.
Wow.
That is out of my price range.
Mine too. Hey, tell your price range story there, Brandon.
My price? Oh, yeah. Okay, so when I went to the Cats event a couple of weeks ago, there was a gentleman there when I was getting ready to talk to Jorge Padron that had a Millennium box. Now, the Millennium is a very special cigar that Padron puts out. And it's very limited release, so they don't make a whole lot of them, and it's so limited, in fact, that I want to say that they only have like maybe 1,000 boxes. So it was made in 1999. The Millennium Blend is basically an altered version of the 64. So if you're a fan of the 64, you'd probably like it. It's got 5 years age on it with the Maduro wrapper. They made 1,100 count boxes. So that's a big box.
1,000 count?
100 count boxes. And the box the guy brought in was huge. It was like the humidor size.
Treasure chest,
yeah. It was a giant thing. And he had Jorge sign it. And it was,
cool.
It was cool. He didn't have any. He had one cigar that he brought with him, and he was smoking it. And he had Jorge sign the cigar. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
That'd be
but so basically, I got an email from a local vendor that said they were going to have these in stock. Now, these are very limited. I mean, you can't really get them anymore. They're pretty much gone. They're like dinosaur, fossils or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm curious because I hadn't seen one before. Smelled really good.
Right.
I like Padrones. I'd like to try this. So I called him up. I was like, hey, might be interested in getting some of those. He's like, oh, we don't have them yet. They're really limited run. We're going to get them probably in the next couple of days. But I can put a couple aside for you. How many you want? And I'm like, well, how many are you selling? Like one?
Right.
He's like, no, we'll sell as many as you want. I'm like, well, I'd probably like a $5. He's like, okay, yeah, so, like 125. I'm like, 125 for 5? He's like, oh, no, it's 125 for 1.
Ouch.
I was like, what?
Wow.
I was like, what?
Let's cancel that order.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'll pass on that. I think I'll smoke my 64 instead. That's a lot for one cigar. It's not Cuban. It's only 5 years aged. I know it's rare, but come on.
Yeah, they're pretty proud of that.
That's that's a price.
I wonder if that's kind of one of those. I wonder if that's the MSRP, or if it's like that rare stuff that Fuente releases at the end of the year, the Añejo stuff, where they pretty much tell us
and the Opus
charge what you want.
Yeah.
For it. So I'm wondering if that's what he did with this 125. Or
I don't know. I'd be real curious to find out what MSRP is on those, because that was out of the realm of my wallet for sure. I don't like to spend more than $14 for a cigar. And even then, that's pushing it.
Yeah, that's a rare occasion.
I'll spend that for a Liga now and then, or a really nice Padron or something. But I'm still going to try and find that at a budget price if I can.
Yeah.
Even if if I have to let it sit a little bit, because that's a lot for a
cigar. That's
cigar.
Crazy. $125 per stick.
I tend to stick with the $5-7 sticks.
There are too many good cigars out there under $8 that you don't need to really venture too far past that price point.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of them that are good now. They always say, well, these age really well. Like Opus is a big one. It's like, oh, you buy the Opus and you age them for 4 years and they're great. It's like, well, it's a $20 cigar. Yeah. Why do I want to wait 4 years to smoke? Don't you have them already aged where I can smoke them now?
I can smoke 2 Tempest for $18, $20.
Well,
and I can smoke them now.
Yeah, supposedly the Opus are already aged 3 years before they come out, but I guess they need more time. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of hype there. And I smoked a couple Opus, and I've liked, out of the 3 or 4 that I smoked, I've liked one a lot, but it also had a good amount of time on it. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, if you got the room to store stuff and age it, great. If you really want those special cigars that are good for those rare occasions, that's fine. I can't see a time that I would ever smoke a $125 cigar. Maybe when my daughter got married.
Yeah.
Maybe if I...
When you get divorced to celebrate.
Yeah, or I was in a gunfight and I didn't get shot.
There you
something,
go.
It'd have to be something like that for me to warrant smoking a $125 cigar.
That's...
Yeah, no, man.
I would feel bad if someone gave me a $125 cigar. I would feel guilty smoking it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if someone gifted me a $125 cigar, I'd have to probably get him a bottle of Garrison Brothers or something to make up for it. At least, yeah.
Speaking of which, we're not pairing. We need to start pairing in the second segment.
Yeah, we should be pairing with this.
Yeah. Thinking a little GB.
Little GB? That sounds delicious.
It
We
does.
should definitely do that.
Yep. Cool.
So we got some other cigar news here that's pretty interesting. One of them is about Davidoff, which, if we're talking about cigars that are mild, they seem
and pricey.
mild and pricey cigars. Davidoff seems to be having a very good year, which is interesting to me because I'm not a big mild cigar guy. If I smoke a cigar, I want it to have some flavor, and to me, creamy is
Not a
usually,
flavor you like?
Yeah, I mean, I like creamy cigars. Don't get me wrong, but I like a little more going on than just creamy. And typically, anytime I've smoked a Davidoff, it was creamy from start to finish. There was no change up. And it was one note, and it was a lot of money. Same thing with I guess it was Davidoff. It was Davidoff and the AVO. I haven't smoked an Ashton yet.
The Ashton cabinet or the...
Yeah, I haven't had the cabinet. I've had the VSG.
Cabinet's a special Connecticut. It's a tasty cigar for a Connecticut, but it's also $14.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's other Connecticut's you can get, the double Connecticut Occidental Reserve, which people, well, that's not the same. Oh, fine, but it's, if you want
cigar,
creamy,
you're getting creamy.
It's creamy. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it off mic about like creamy's creamy, and that's. I mean, there's really no difference between like, are we talking like 1% milk creamy, or are we talking heavy creamy? And
right.
Yeah.
We're talking vanilla or French vanilla.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. I don't get it. But apparently, Davidoff sales have gone through the roof for them. More than, well, I say through the roof. Increased worldwide by more than 5%, which I guess is
pretty
a lot
good growth,
yeah. The company sold more cigars, despite being fewer cigars than in 2011. The company sold more cigars, despite making fewer cigars. Okay, that was a weird sentence.
What?
There you go. They cut its cigar in 2000. They cut its production in 2012 due to high inventory. So they basically made less cigars this year, but sold more. So that's good.
Now that was 11 was when Ron White signed on as their spokesperson. I wonder if he had anything to do with that.
Don't know. But they said they're very satisfied with the progress, and their core business is doing well. So that's good. I mean, I'm always, even if I don't smoke these particular cigars, I'm glad when a cigar company does well, because that means that people.
Yeah, that means the industry's growing. The industry is surviving,
despite
thriving.
all the crap that the government's trying to do to keep us from smoking.
Yeah,
people
everything
are smoking
that they're doing.
Now check this out. I'm psyched about this because I like this cigar, and I gave you one, and I think you were kind of on the fence about it. L'Atelier, which is a Tatuaje cigar.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So they are having an exclusive cigar for the IPCPR attendees.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to tell Matt. I'm going to put a little Post-it note and send it to him and tell him to get me some of those because I'm a fan of that cigar. Now, this is, it's called the Extensión de la Racine ER13, Spanish for Extension of the Root, measures 5 7/8 by 52, and it's a nod to the classic Cuban Cohiba Siglo VI shape. So yeah, it contains a certain amount of Sante Spiritus, which is a tobacco, which is a hybrid of a Criollo and Pollo de Oro grown by Oliva in Ecuador. So the Criollo 98 wrapper covers the double binder, and the filler consists of the Sancti Spiritus and Nicaraguan tobacco. So that
does sound tasty.
Pretty darn delicious. The cigars will come in a slide lid box with 20 cigars and are bundled with a decorative ribbon. So if you can get some samples of that, I'm all over that because I'm a fan of those. They have one that's they put one out that's a 46 special select, and it's got a little bit of a darker wrapper on it, and it's delicious. So I'll get you one of those.
I've only had 3 or 4 Tatuajes, but I've never had a bad one. I've never had a bad one.
Yeah, I like them. They're good stuff. Christoph is extending their brand. They're doing some major expansions this year, so that's good. Are you you ever had Christophs?
I'm not crazy about it.
I'm not real big on the Christophs. Well, I like the Maduro that they have. They have like a double hero Maduro or something that I thought was pretty good. But yeah, so they're expanding. That's cool for them. So another good company that's growing, which is great. Now this one is interesting because I've already heard talkings on the forums about this particular issue. Camacho has decided to revamp and reblend a lot of its line.
Really?
So one line that is very popular on the forums is the Camacho Triple Maduro.
Yep.
And apparently they've redone that cigar from the ground up. And a lot of people aren't very happy about it.
Why would they do that?
Why
are
don't
they
know.
Upsetting their core audience?
Maybe they have an issue with the wrappers or the
Could
binders.
be. Yeah,
Who knows? But apparently they changed the band, they changed the blend. A lot of people are saying the new blend isn't as good. My thing is, okay, it is a new blend, so maybe it just needs a little time.
Yeah.
To where it's actually going to taste the way it's supposed to taste. But you would hope that they would, not put it out if it wasn't ready. So now everybody's grabbing up the old Triple Maduros. So you guys have those here, right?
We
so
do.
You might get a run on those.
Okay.
So if you guys need any Camacho Triple Maduros, they do have them here at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge.
Yep.
If you want to order some of those, you would call
972-761-9903.
Excellent. So yeah, the new branding looks pretty cool.
Doesn't?
Definitely less busy. It looks kind of like a sports car brand or something. Look at the.
Oh yeah, it does.
Kind of like a Ferrari.
It does.
Or something.
Very
Yeah.
Ferrari-like.
And so they've got some good marketing, but yeah, I think if you're going to mess with the blends and piss off your core audience, that's probably not a good deal.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we picked up Camacho, was because of the Triple Maduro. People kept asking for it. And then it died. People quit asking for it.
Yeah. Oliva Series V Melanio Maduro, now coming in July. We're psyched about that. We heard about that one already.
Yeah. Jack told us about that.
Oh, and Casada is adding a final Oktoberfest size. So that was, I told you about the Oktoberfest on one of our little mini-sodes. Yep. So what do you think so far?
It's tasty. It's not as spicy as I was hoping it was going to get, but it has a ton of flavor. There's a lot of flavor going on in this cigar.
It'll get there. Once you get to the second third and the final third, if I remember correctly, the final third is pretty spicy. So we'll get there.
I like you.
I like you too. We're getting to the end of the first third here, so we're going to take a little break. When we come back, we got some other things to talk about, including
Passing of a Legend.
Yes, the passing of a legend. So stick with us, guys. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back with the second third of the La Aroma de Cuba Mi Amor in the Magnifico size, 6x52. And, yeah, yummy.
Yeah, it's got a lot of flavor.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So we are now finally pairing this with the
Garrison Brothers Texas Bourbon.
And it is delicious. I got to tell you, if you guys haven't had this yet, find a place that has it.
Find a place, especially if you live in Texas.
Yeah.
He said there are 90% of the liquor stores in Texas, so you shouldn't have a problem finding it.
The woodiness from that bourbon really goes well with the cedar and the cigar.
Yep.
The second third, I'm really kind of picking up on some cedar flavors, a little bit of leather and spice. Just got a lot going on, man. It's really...
My burn just was perfect at first, and now it's not. Look at this. I've never had that happen.
It'll catch up, man. Give it some time.
I know.
So before we left, well, actually, we have to mention we are at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas.
Yep.
As always, and we were talking before the break about the loss of a great cigar aficionado.
Yeah, and an acting legend.
Great acting legend, James Gandolfini. And his passing was kind of a surprise. He was only 51, passed from a heart attack on vacation in Rome. And I figure, if you're going to go, vacation in Rome's not a bad place to do it.
You'd want it to be on like your last day of vacation, though.
Well, yeah.
You wouldn't want it to be early on in the vacation.
Well, I don't know what the situation was.
Yeah, I don't know either. But of course, one of the most iconic roles in television history, Tony Soprano.
Yep. And Gandolfini brought his love of cigars to that show, along with the character. Beginning sequence of the show, he's smoking a cigar in the car on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Yep.
And a lot of discussion about what he was actually smoking. Now, as you guys know or may not know, CAO actually makes a Soprano cigar.
They do.
Is it still in production, or is that gone?
Someone
now?
told me it was, and I know some stores still have it. We never. Well, I don't know if Matt ever bought it in the sticks, but I know we bought a crap load of the samplers, And we sold out of those about a couple of years ago, finally. But the sampler was unique because it had the Tony Soprano size, the Boss or whatever it was called,
Yeah, the larger
6x60.
Yeah, which only came in the sampler.
It only came in the sampler,
yeah.
right? And that's why Matt bought that sampler, because that was made that a good selling point. Plus, it was a really cool red box and everything. We still have the sign. Brandon's gonna take a picture of it. You'll see it on the podcast.
They actually had some interesting marketing stuff through the cigars as well. I actually saw some pictures of a special, like one that looked like a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
They rolled it in a baseball bat. It was part of another gift box that they had or something. So
I remember that.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some debate about what he was smoking in the opening scene, and I'm on a site here. I'm going to give him a shout out. This is Sean'sCigarRoom.com. He's got a cigar blog, and he talks about the fact that during the opening sequence, best that most people can tell, he is smoking a Monte Cristo cigar. So title sequence, Tony's seen holding a cigar while driving home. Numerous landmarks as well. At the end of the sequence, Tony pulls into the driveway. There's been some debate. No, it's a Macanudo, sorry. Smoking at least one Macanudo throughout the years. And, of course, he was seen smoking a Cuban Monte Cristo on occasion. But the cigar that they most often smoked on the show was a CAO Maduro de Anniversary Robusto. So CAO did provide cigars for the show, so good for them.
Right.
I'm not a really big fan of CAO cigars.
Have you ever had the Soprano cigar?
I have not. No.
Okay, it was a Christmas party. I wasn't working here. I was a customer. Matt, every year we try to plan a Christmas party around a Cowboys game late in the season.
Okay.
And this was a year that Dallas was actually playing well in '07. And Matt just opened up a sampler and handed me one and handed his employee at the time one, and he smoked the other. None of us wanted the 660.
The Boss?
Yeah, nobody wanted that one. But I liked it. I thought it was a very good cigar. And that was the first CAO I had ever had. So every time I've smoked a CAO since then, I've been pretty much disappointed because I did like that Soprano cigar.
Yeah. I like the La Traviata a lot.
I do too.
And,
I do too. Concert's okay.
Concert's okay, yeah. There was another one called like the Rockstar or something that I had that was an exclusive for some kind of show that I smoked that was actually pretty good, but I don't think it went full production.
Their Italia series, I think, is decent.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to try the Soprano cigar, try it.
Yeah, I think there's still some around. Now, see, this says that there's hints of black cherry, raisin, and molasses in the cigar. That sounds really good to me. I know you're not a raisin guy,
right.
So maybe not for you, but I don't know if you got that. Also,
no.
a mellow taste of mocha coffee. That sounds great. I mean, if
it was.
I
do remember it being very cocoa-y.
Yeah.
Cocoa-ish.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Not cool that he passed. And,
no, that's a sad thing.
It is a sad thing. And he's been in a lot of movies that I really do enjoy. I remember quite a few of them.
True Romance, of course.
True Romance. Man, he just blew me away in that movie.
Now, that was Tarantino wrote it, but Stone directed it?
No, Tarantino wrote it, and Tony Scott directed it.
Tony Scott directed
the guy
it.
that threw himself off the bridge and
That's right.
killed himself. But
wow.
Yeah. Good movie. Great dialogue. His scene where he beats the living crap out of what's her name, Patricia Arquette.
Yeah. Yep.
Is just one of the better. That's one of those movies that has a lot of great dialogue in it. There's great dialogue in that scene. There's great dialogue with the scene with Dennis Hopper and
Christopher Walken.
Yeah. But so yeah, and of course, in the wake of James Gandolfini's death, Soprano sales are up. Big surprise.
Yeah.
One of the things I thought was kind of interesting, or this is a neat way, was that they the restaurant where they shot the final scene for the show has actually done a nice little tribute, and they put a reserve for Tony Soprano and family on the table where they shot the last scene for the show. So that's cool.
I like it when people do things like that.
Yeah, so that's neat that they did that. And
now, were you a fan of the show?
I was a fan of the show. I didn't stick with it through the end, but I will definitely go back and watch it all. I have them all.
Yeah.
I just never made it through the whole thing.
Well, I had never watched it. I'd never really had any interest, and I was mad at the show because it would win all the Emmys and beat out my shows that I liked. And I was like, what is this show? What is The Sopranos? I don't even know what this show's about. And over the years, I obviously familiarized myself with it. I knew what it was, but I never watched it. And Matt, actually, for Christmas one year, asked for the DVDs. Mm. So I bought him a season. His wife bought him some of the other seasons. And I watched the first season, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm like, man, this is awesome. So started the second season, and that was right when the final season was airing. and the radio station I listened to told me how it ended,
Oh, they spoiled it for you.
and I didn't care to go back and watch it then since I knew how it ended. I was kind of hoping for more of a better ending,
Yeah.
have something to look forward to.
Well, it is.
But I
it
will
is
go back and watch it because it was well done.
Yeah.
And boy, it was the spawn, or the it spawned so many of the shows that are on today.
Oh yeah.
The
for sure.
Wire, Breaking Bad. I mean, this was the show that laid the template for that type of drama on TV.
Yeah, for sure. And I had a little issue with it when it came out because it was after. What was that movie with Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro?
Analyze this, or whatever.
Yeah. And I was like, so this is just like a serious version of Analyze This? I was like, I don't know if the movie is pretty funny, but And I watched the show and I loved it. I watched like maybe the first 4 seasons before I finally gave up on it, but it was a good show. I just it was HBO. I didn't have HBO,
right.
so it was a big pain in the ass to go get it, and relying on friends or renting, and at that point you're just like, But,
Yeah.
I do like a lot of Gandolfini's movies. You mentioned already, True Romance was a big one for me. I liked him in The Mexican. Didn't think the movie was great, but I liked him in it. And he's done a lot of great stuff.
Wasn't he in a movie? Wasn't he like the warden of a prison with Robert Redford was in it?
Yep.
What was that called?
Let me find out real quick here. IMDb, I love you.
The irony is that he always played the heavy role. He was always the mean bad guy.
Mhm.
But from by all accounts, he was the nicest guy in
Yeah, every time
Hollywood.
you hear
Everyone
people,
loved him.
Yeah, every time you hear people talking about him and stuff, they say he's just a really, really cool, down to earth, fun guy, really funny. The Last Castle.
Yep,
Was
that's
that
it. Yep.
Yep. And he played a lot of scuzzy bad guy roles, like 8mm. He was just like creepy in that, and he was in the Mexican, of course. And let's see here, what else?
He was in Zero Dark 30.
He was in Zero Dark 30.
I just thought about that.
Get Shorty. He was hilarious. in
He
that.
was funny in Get Shorty.
Yeah. Crimson Tide. He was in that as well.
That's
so-
right. He was.
Yep.
Totally forgot about that.
Mr. Wonderful.
Don't know that one.
He was in The Last Boy Scout as a henchman. He played
Yeah,
henchmen.
he was.
He played henchmen's a lot.
Totally forgot about him being
Yep.
in that. Wow. Okay, so The Last Boy Scout's a crap Bruce Willis movie. We've probably mentioned it 5 times
Yeah.
so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's hilarious.
I love it. I love it, but it's just a throwaway movie.
It is a throwaway movie, yeah. Yeah, he's been in a lot of good stuff. He was in The Juror. He was in a TV version of 12 Angry Men, which
Ooh,
actually was
I'd like
good.
to see that.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Fallen. A Civil Action.
Fallen.
Yeah.
The Michael Douglas?
No, Fallen, the one with
The Angel
Denzel
thing?
Washington thing, yeah.
Yeah. Falling Down's the Michael Douglas one.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
The Man Who Wasn't There with Billy Bob Thornton.
I've tried to watch that. I can't get into it. I don't know why.
Romance and Cigarettes.
Never saw that.
Don't know what that is. And then here comes The Sopranos, so a lot of that. In the Loop is a good one. If you haven't seen the movie In the Loop,
No.
it's kind of an indie movie. He plays a lieutenant in it, and he's really funny in the movie. It's a dark comedy, and I want to say it's a British flick, but it's got a lot of people that you probably don't know, but great dialogue,
Really?
just really fast paced, snappy dialogue. You'll watch
a military
probably
movie?
a couple of movies. No, it's a consider it like a political comedy,
okay.
political drama comedy.
All right.
Taking of Pelham 123. He was in the new version of that.
Okay.
Where the Wild Things Are. He was.
So he was in a lot of stuff with Denzel.
Yep. He was in
And
a
Brad Pitt.
A movie called Mint Julep, which I had not even heard about.
No. I've had mint juleps.
Oh, that's right. He was in Cinema Verite. I saw that one pretty recently. Killing Them Softly, Zero Dark 30, Burt Wonderstone. He's in.
And Burt Wonderstone.
We just talked about that, and I haven't seen that one either. So, yeah, I mean, he had a good career. Probably not in enough movies, considering he's only been in, I think it's like 51.
Well, The Sopranos used to take long hiatus, and I think a lot of it was, I don't think he was a big work guy. I think he liked to act, but I think he enjoyed his private life. And, some of the stories I've read that he would, his son or something was in a soccer league, and with the sons of other actors and actresses, and he would take these really cool photographs and stuff. He would shoot the soccer games and pass out the pictures to all the parents so that they could get these great shots that he'd made. So sounded like just a really good dude.
Yep. Apparently, there's trivia from IMDb.
Okay.
He apparently plays trumpet and saxophone.
Wow.
Interesting. Never knew that.
Very gifted guy.
And here's what you were talking about. He often plays thuggish or brutish characters, but he's actually somewhat of a pacifist off stage. Has had reservations about continuing his production contract as Tony Soprano due to the show's violent content. Wow.
Really?
Yep.
And he made a lot of money on that show.
Yeah, he did.
And good for him.
Yeah, originally cast in the role of Carl Hanratty in Catch Me If You Can, but had to drop due to The Sopranos. I'm not sure which character that was.
I don't know who that is. Was that the Tom Hanks character?
Maybe. Used to bartend in Manhattan during his years as a struggling actor.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, trained in Krav Maga, an Israeli style of martial arts, which he practiced for 2.5 years.
But he's a pacifist.
Yep. Well, you got to be a pacifist while you kick somebody's ass.
Yeah, exactly.
That way you don't get sued.
Right.
Yep. So that's pretty interesting stuff. Co-starred with John Travolta in 5 movies.
5.
Get Shorty, She's So Lovely, A Civil Action, Lonely Hearts, and Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Wow. This is kind of funny. Voted best looking in high school.
Really?
I would like to see a high school picture of him just to see what the rest of the guys in the high
Right,
school look like.
exactly.
I didn't think he was
I
really
didn't
a
think he was a
good-looking man.
matinee idol. You know?
Yeah, you know, but cool dude. He definitely had a screen presence, you know.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, wow, man, just oh wow, he was considered for the role of the Thing in Fantastic Four.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
Yeah,
Just
that movie was crap. So
yeah.
I'm kind of
Good
glad
thing he passed.
I'm glad he didn't do that.
Right.
That was a horrible freaking movie. But wow, very shy and uncomfortable in person.
That brings up a little quick topic.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Soprano, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where would you rank that as far as the ultimate TV characters?
Oh wow. It's very,
Archie Bunker would be a good one.
Yeah, Archie Bunker. You know, you're getting into a
J.R. Ewing.
yeah.
I mean, you're talking just the very few iconic roles that would be bigger than Tony Soprano. Not many, if any.
Yeah. He did a lot for HBO, that's for damn sure.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Man, it's just sad.
it is.
So weird. We have to have we were getting ready, my wife and I were talking about getting ready to do a Steve Martin film fest. I think I might switch that to Gandolfini. She's not going to like that because she's not big on most of the movies he's been in, but damn it, she's watching them with me. If I have to watch
I'll watch the Steve Martin Fest.
If I have to watch Steel Magnolias, she's watching freaking 8mm. So yeah, but yeah, just you know, it's just one of those things. Life happens, and man, it just sucks. But what can you do?
It does.
So you know, everybody's talking about, I guess there's not going to be a Sopranos movie now. But you know, if you think about it, really, you got kind of wide open story there for his son taking over and stuff. But not that the guy that was his son on the show was any good of an actor, but.
Oh, they could change actors.
Yeah, they could change actors pretty easy.
That new Dallas show, they're not using the same kids from the old Dallas. You know, the kids are grown up now. They're not using the same actors that were the kids.
Yeah, true. Very true. So, yeah, I mean, but gangsters on television, he's got to be the top. I can't really even think of any others besides Fat Tony from the Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't actually talking gangsters. I was talking about just iconic characters.
Oh yeah, I know.
Iconic characters. There's
Homer,
few
Homer
bigger
Simpson,
than
Homer Simpson would
Homer
be one of the
Simpson,
iconic characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you say, like Dick Van Dyke?
Is Rob Petrie a great?
Rob Petrie? Nah. He's kind of
Barney
vanilla.
Fife. No, he's a great character.
Yeah. I was trying to think of someone from like Friends, but that's just kind of an ensemble cast.
That's totally ensemble.
Same thing with MASH.
Fraser Crane might be, because he did play the role 20 years.
Yeah. Possibly. That's it.
Yeah, with the what's the word I'm looking for? The iconic role. You either need to be one of two things. You need to be really quirky, so that people remember your character, or you have to be just a badass.
Yeah.
You know.
So would you consider The Equalizer a... Did you ever watch that show, The Equalizer?
No.
God, okay, this is one of the shows that annoyed the crap out of me when I was a kid, because my dad would watch it. And in kid logic, I guess you don't think about what's going on with the show, but it was Edward Woodward, who was like, 60 when they did the show, so he's an old guy. And he would basically pursue the bad guys. So I guess he was a bounty hunter or something. I don't know the whole premise of the show. But the bad guys would be hauling ass, like running away from him. It's like, I got to get away from the Equalizer. They're like hauling ass. And they would show a shot of Edward Woodward walking. He had this trench coat, and he had his hands in his pockets, just at a steady pace. It was like Mike Myers chasing a victim, And it was that kind of thing. He would always catch up to him. It's like you'd see him walking at a slow pace, and then the bad guys hauling ass, jumping over cars and stuff, and all of a sudden Edward Woodward put his hand on his shoulder. It's like, What?
How did that happen?
What's the jumping logic there? He knows shortcuts around the city, I guess, or something.
He's the equalizer.
I don't know. It's crazy. But they're making it into a movie now. I'm like, wow.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
Hollywood running out of ideas.
Yep.
Jeez.
And the one thing I dislike about HBO is I think they treat their shows poorly. They give them, they pump them up when they're airing, and they want to sell the crap out of DVDs. But they just stop the story and then promise you a movie, and then they never do the movie. Deadwood.
Yep.
Sopranos. I mean, come on.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, Deadwood was a big one for me because I really, really loved that show, and the way they ended it was just like cliffhanger city. It's like, really? You can't do 1 2-hour movie or 2 2-hour movies just to end the damn thing?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, Deadwood was treated poorly.
It
I
really
almost
was.
never even watched it because I had already heard that it got canceled after season 2, but a friend of mine said, you gotta watch it, because there was talk of the movie, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and watch it. Then I was like, please make a movie, please make a movie.
And nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah, that was a great show. Yeah, if you haven't seen Deadwood and you like westerns, it's kind of like a Elizabethan western or something.
Yeah.
The way the dialogue's written, it's
It really is.
very, I don't know, William Shakespeare-ish or something. I don't know, it's kind of odd, but it's a cool show. Great actor, great performances, great actors.
Oh yeah.
You'll recognize a lot of faces in that show too. A lot of those people have moved on to other things.
Yep.
And they're very, very famous now.
Your buddy Powers Booth was in it.
Yep, Powers Booth was in it. You got the guy who plays the dad on Raising Hope is in there, and he's one of those actors that like he played really, really creepy guy in Deadwood. He played a really creepy guy in Last House on the Left, and now he's doing comedy. And it's like after you've seen him play these really eeky, creepy guys, it's like
it's hard to do it.
Yeah,
Timothy Oliphant
pulls it off. Yeah, Timothy Oliphant. You got the guy
Ian McShane, obviously.
Yep. You got my other brother Daryl or whatever that one.
Yeah, William Sanderson, I think's his name. Yeah,
he's in there. A ton of other actors in there.
Great show. And I didn't even mention the girls, the women in there that were in it.
Mm-hmm.
People you know. I can't remember any of their names off the top of my head, but
yep. But yeah, lots of great performances in that show as well.
Yep.
So a little off topic, but still a good topic because it's a great show. HBO shows. Watch that one if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Go rent it on Netflix or get the DVDs or whatever. Great show. And catch up on The Sopranos.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to.
Yep. So we are at the end of the second third here. We're going to take a little break. When we get back, we got some other things to talk about. And so stick with us.
And R.I.P. James Gandolfini.
Yeah. Sad. We'll be right back, guys. All right, everybody. We're back for the final third of the La Aroma de Cuba, Mi Amor, in the Magnifico size.
It never got as spicy as I was hoping it would get, but it maintained that amazing flavor all the way through.
Yeah,
I will smoke this again.
It's got a lot of flavor, yeah. And getting closer to the final third, it will pick up in the spice. Trust me.
Yeah.
Especially when you get near the end there. Pepin, however you like to say that, likes to really pack.
I think it's pronounced Pepin, but we call it Pepin just to be silly.
Pepper. All right. So, with Tony Soprano being the subject of discussion and James Gandolfini, it does bring to mind what would we, since we like to talk about movies, and we do that often here at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas, we like to talk about movies, and one of the things I wanted to talk about was gangster flicks, because we haven't talked about that yet.
No, we haven't.
So what would you consider some of the best gangster movies of all time?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I like them when they're good, but I don't just necessarily like it because it's a gangster movie. Unlike horror, I will like a horror movie just because it's horror. But my favorite would be The Untouchables. If that's really, it's Capone. That's a gangster movie.
Yeah, it's a gangster movie.
The Untouchables. I think Goodfellas is great. I've started Casino. I haven't finished it, but so far I'm liking it. It's long though.
It is long, yeah.
But
there's a moment in Casino that cracks me up. That I just love the way it was written. And when you get to that moment, you're gonna hopefully like.
I'll know
too.
what it is.
Yeah, you'll know what it is. Yeah.
And of course you got Godfather and all that stuff. But,
yeah. So we got a list here from Ask Men, which I figure we're men, so why not ask men what the top 12 gangster flicks are? And they have the one you listed as your top, as number 12, The Untouchables.
Okay.
So, great
it's
flick.
a bogus list.
Yeah. No.
If it's 12, then...
It's the last place, buddy. Number 11, they have a Sergio Leone movie, Once Upon a Time in America, which, I'm not a big fan of that. That movie bored me, too, yeah. It bored me, and it was one of those, I guess it was made in a time where they couldn't really tackle some of the subject matter, so they skirted around it.
Yeah.
Because there is a moment in that movie, a couple of moments in that movie, where they talk about, you get a sense of it that De Niro's character can't really connect with anybody but men.
Yeah.
And he has women in his life, but the only women he's ever had in his life he raped. So they kind of skirt. You get the sense that that's happened, but they don't show it.
Gotcha.
And, so it's one of those. There's stuff below the surface if you really get into it. But yeah, it didn't do it for me. I like Once Upon a Time in the Old West better. Yeah. To me, that's a better Sergio Leone movie.
No doubt.
Casino's number 10, which you can't really say bad things about any of the Martin Scorsese gangster movies. He does them right. But it is a long flick, and it's probably not the best of the Scorsese gangster movies, but it's still good. And a great cast. I mean, you got De Niro, you got Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, James Woods, freaking Don Rickles pulling a serious role in that. He was great, yeah. Alan King.
Yeah, that's right.
Kevin Pollak. So, you got a great cast in that. They list number 9 is Bugsy. Like, really? Bugsy?
That was terrible.
I didn't like Bugsy. I
wanted to see it. I couldn't wait to see it. I thought, this will be Warren Beatty playing. This will be fun. No.
I'm not a big Warren Beatty fan. I can't think of any Warren Beatty movies that I really I want to watch.
Heaven Can Wait? That's a great movie.
When I was a kid, but
it's held up. Well, Charles Grodin's part is held up. I don't know.
Charles Grodin's hilarious, though. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Warren Beatty. I never.
Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde's great.
He's Warren Beatty and everything. He does.
There's no doubt. He's not a good actor.
He's a movie star.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of him as a movie star. So, not a fan of his movies. That's just me.
I'm not saying I'm a big fan. I just like a couple of his things.
Number 8, Donnie Brasco, which is a good flick.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's one of the best.
No, I don't either. The Untouchables is a lot better than that.
Al Pacino, Johnny Depp. I liked Johnny Depp in that movie. That was probably one of the first movies I saw Johnny Depp in where I was like, okay, this guy can act.
Okay. I still haven't seen that movie.
Michael Madsen, Bruno Kirby, Anne Heche before she went crazy with her weirdness. Yeah. Public Enemy, the old school 1931 movie with James Cagney and Edward Woods. Yeah. So that's a good one. Saw that when I was a kid, and I was like all about that movie. A Bronx Tale, which is kind of a little under the radar movie. I think it was written and directed by Robert De Niro, or at least directed by Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
And crazy cast in that movie. The kid that plays his son in that looks so much like De Niro. It's not even funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's really scary.
Wow.
But that had Joe Pesci in it as well, and Chaz Palminteri, who's a great.
So you're telling me De Niro and Pesci were in another movie together?
Yeah, I think they were in. I think it's contractually obligated that they're in every movie together. I think Pesci's in every single one of them. He's just kind of in the background.
Right. He's at least off stage handing him coffee or something.
Exactly right. It's me. I'm back here. Look. Shut up, Pesci. It's not your scene. White Heat was number 5, which is another James Cagney.
Okay.
Edmund O'Brien, and it's a good flick. Top of the World Ma. I think that's that one, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it that one or is that Public Enemy? I don't know. Either way, who knows? Someone will correct us. Scarface is number 4, which is a really violent, extremely violent, F-word laced movie, and it is a gangster movie, hands down.
Oh, no doubt.
It's hard to make it through that movie. I really tried to like it. I like it to a degree, but it's not something I'm going to watch every year like a lot of people do.
Right.
It's a lot of people's favorite movie, and I'm like, yeah. But script by Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone wrote that script. So
he did?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Miller's Crossing, which I actually like this movie.
Coen Brothers?
Yeah, Coen Brothers flick. I dug that movie.
But that's in that vein, the Last Man Standing, that Dashiell Hammett story that's been redone billions of more times in ways.
And Gabriel Byrne is, and it's got that Coen Brothers humor to it.
Yeah.
It's a very,
Brian Cox, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of good people in that flick. Goodfellas is number 2, which is a great gangster movie.
Really good movie.
And it's one of those movies that I really enjoyed because it was one of the few movies that I thought the editing really helped make the movie. Because there's that, when they get into the coked up phase, there's a lot of quick cuts and the movie gets really speedy, and it's just like if you've never done any of those drugs, you feel like you've done those drugs by the time you finish watching that movie, because it's just a crazy movie. And then of course number 1 is they cheated. It's the Godfather trilogy.
Oh, that is cheating.
Come on, guys. That's the top
15. The second one's considered the best, right?
Yeah, the second one a lot of people consider the best. The third one's just god awful. They shouldn't have even made it. The only good thing about the third one is probably what's his name? Guy was in Untouchables that doesn't do anything anymore.
Oh, Sizemore?
No, not Sizemore.
Sean Connery.
What's that guy's name? Andy Garcia.
Oh, Andy Garcia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Andy Garcia was good in Godfather 3, but there was no story there. It was just bad. I didn't like it.
Confession time.
Never seen Godfather?
Never seen Godfather. I've seen
What?
parts of it.
Oh, man.
It's been on my to-do list for years. It was too violent for my parents to let us watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could watch Texas Chainsaw. That wasn't violent, but we couldn't watch Godfather.
Wow,
And,
that's craziness.
And as an adult, I just have never took the time to sit down. Because here's my thing with gangster movies: is it's like blues music. It's great for a little while, and then every gangster movie just seems the same to me.
Yeah.
Backstabbing each other, and they're unsavory characters to begin with because they're in a gang or a mob, and they just backstab each other. And boy, you cross me, I'll put a bullet in your head. Stuff. It's like, come on. It just seems to me like it's the same story all over and over.
Yep. I like them, but they're specifically Americana. I mean, Americans like gangster movies, and I don't really see gangster movies in very many other countries. There's a couple here and there, but yeah, for the most part, it's an American.
But when they're done well,
genre.
I like it. Like I said, I started getting sucked in by The Sopranos, even though it was still the same thing. I mean, they pulled the curtain back a lot more on how the mob really works than anyone had ever done before, so they certainly deserve credit.
Well, they definitely had the time to do it. Plus, they get into the psychological aspect of how it affects you as a person and your family life and everything, which you really hadn't seen. Seen parts of it in the Godfather series, but not really to the degree that it was brought to the surface in Sopranos.
I thought of a good one. It wasn't on the list.
What's that?
Road to Perdition.
Yep, that's on a different list. I was getting ready to mention that one.
Great movie.
So this is a different list. This is the AFI top 10 list.
Okay.
They have Godfather 1 as number 1. Goodfellas is number 2. Godfather 2 is number 3. White Heat, Bonnie and Clyde, which we mentioned earlier. Scarface, the original Scarface, Shame of a Nation. Pulp Fiction they list as number 7, which I guess technically
it
could be sort of a gangster.
Yeah.
Parts of it had gangster elements.
I would think Reservoir Dogs more so than Pulp Fiction.
Man, that's a good cigar, man.
Yeah.
Public Enemy, Little Caesar, which is the one with the that guy.
Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson, yeah.
Moses.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. The worst casting ever in a movie. Yeah, we're going to get you, see, Moses? You can't be walking in the desert, Moses, yeah. What the hell was that about? Really?
Yeah.
That was just probably someone lost a bet. I think that's one of those things like, okay, let's just put a bunch of names in a hat, see who we can get. Like, who do we have in our list that works at this particular studio? Yeah, Edward G. Robinson.
That movie had everybody in it. John Wayne was the angel at the tomb. Yeah. Why seek you the living among the dead?
Pilgrim. Like, not the right role there, John. Shut up. Yeah. Wow.
No, that wasn't the part he played. He was one of the... that's the line I always use because I think it'd be funny to hear him say it that way. I think Pat Boone actually played the angel at the tomb. John Wayne was at the cross.
Yeah.
Oh, truly this man was the son of God. Yeah, that's his line. Truly that man was the son of God.
Wow.
Okay, we jumped off topic. Go ahead.
AMC has another list here, and they have...
what was the rest of the top 10 on that?
It was crap.
Untouchables on that?
Untouchables was on that, yeah.
Road to Perdition was on it?
It was not on that one. There's a different one that has a couple of newer ones. This one has... This is from... What is it? Where did it go? I lost it. Oh, this doesn't have it either. There was another one that did. This one's AMC's, and they have, the usual suspects. They actually have The Departed on here, which is a newer one, based on a Chinese flick, actually.
Great casting in that movie. Good action. I mean, it was a good movie, but it just kept rambling on.
Kept going on and on and on. They have Get Shorty on this list.
And it's one of those movies that has like 3 different endings. The Departed does. It's like, come on.
Yep.
Get Shorty, yeah, I guess it's gangster.
Copland.
See, I was going to mention Copland, too. I like that movie. All Stallone people hate that movie. I like that movie.
I like that movie. He did a good job. And that's the thing with Stallone, you think of him as an action star, but really he was an actor first. He was an actor in Rocky. He was playing a part. Sure, it was pretty close to him, but he did a good performance in that movie. He's done great performances in other flicks, but yeah, people just don't get it because they were expecting an action movie from him.
Well, he's not kicking ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, he's not supposed to be. That's not his character.
Yeah, Carlito's Way is another one they mention. Oh, I can't even believe this is on a list. Mobsters, that crap movie with all the brats, the Rat Pack squad, or what do they call those guys?
That was the Brat Pack.
The Brat Pack, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got Christian Slater, Patrick Dempsey, Costas Mandylor, Richard Grieco. Anything with Richard Grieco automatically should be burned. That guy was horrible. Wow. What a horrible, horrible actor. Richard Grieco.
Road to Perdition on that one?
No.
Good. Mobsters is, but
there
Road
you
to
go.
Perdition?
This is another one. IMDb list here, and this is based on reviews. The Departed's actually number 1 on this one. Reservoir Dogs is number 2. Infernal Affairs, which is the original version of The Departed, which is a Chinese flick, is really good. Carlito's Way, Casino, Donnie Brasco, City of God, which is a good movie. And it is a gangster movie, too. Snatch, which is fun. I like Snatch.
Brad Pitt?
Who doesn't like Snatch?
Yeah, I love Snatch, but I've never seen the movie. Brad Pitt in that?
We just went blue.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's in it. He does the weird. He has that weird accent. Where he's like, you like dogs? He's talking about dogs.
That's right.
You mean dogs? No, dags. You like dags? Yeah, it's a weird movie, but it's fun. Jackie Brown. This one has Road to Perdition. History of Violence, which I actually thought was a pretty good movie. Gangs of New York.
Speaking of Jackie Brown, they're doing a sequel to that.
Are they really?
Kind of an offshoot sequel. And Jennifer Aniston's in it. It's a serious, first real serious badass role for her to play.
I think I heard about that, but it's not really about Jackie Brown. It's about the guy, right?
Yeah, but it's it's kind of like This Is 40 was kind of a sequel to Knocked Up, but it wasn't really.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think it's more going to be about the Max Cherry character, right?
Probably.
Robert Forster's character.
Yeah.
See, that was one of those movies when I saw it the first time, I didn't like it. And then I revisited it on. I got it on DVD for a couple bucks. It was one of those things where it's like, you buy this, you buy Pulp Fiction, you get Jackie Brown free. It's like, okay, fine. Okay. And I really like the movie. It's a well-written movie, very deliberately paced, but it reminds you of a 70s movie, which, his movies tend to do that. They're very dialogue, character-driven, and not a whole lot happens. But it's a good movie. I really liked Robert Forster in that. He's
a great actor. I don't ever think about him until I see him in a movie. I'm like, God, he's in it. Oh, this has a chance to be good if Robert Forster's in it.
Yeah, and he really kind of breaks your heart in that movie because it really does fall for Jackie and Bridget Fonda's in it. She's hilarious in that. Samuel Jackson, of course, playing Samuel Jackson. He's another one of those movie stars.
Yeah, he plays himself.
Really doesn't act a whole lot. Right. But so there's a lot of extremely violent gangster movies out there, and Americans love them. This one's kind of off the chart. Most people don't think about it, but it was a movie with the current James Bond in it called Layer Cake. And it was,
I remember when that came out.
Yeah, it was the same guy that directed Kick-Ass, and he's basically he plays a guy who is a, what do you call it, chemist, I guess.
Yeah.
And he makes drugs.
Okay.
But they end up hiring him to sell as well and stuff, and it's a good under the underground kind of one of those underground movies that did it's a good movie to me. Michael Gambone's really evil in that. He plays a great gangster in that.
Is that how you pronounce that name? I've never heard his name pronounced. I've always just said Gambon.
Yeah, and then Tom Hardy's in it as well. He's gotten pretty big since then. So he was Bane, Batman.
So I thought Newman was excellent in Road to Perdition.
Yeah, he was great.
Excellent, and that's the role you'd never really seen him play. And when I just found out he was going to be a Godfather type, I was like, he could pull that off. I never would have thought about it, and he was great.
He was. He's got
Daniel Craig was in that, and that was his son, and he was a punk.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but Daniel Craig, I like Daniel Craig. I think he's probably the best actor Bond we've had, because I think Sean Connery's he's a screen icon.
Yeah,
he's a movie star. He's not a great actor.
He can act when he wants to.
Yeah,
he was great in the Untouchables.
Untouchables, he was great.
Enough of this running shit.
Right.
I love that.
Just like a wop to bring a knife to a gunfight. Was that great little? That's you want to win? What's that line? There's that line.
Yeah, it's not like.
Here's how you want to beat Capone. Here's how you beat Capone. He brings a knife. You bring a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital. You send one of his to the morgue.
That's the Chicago way.
That's how you get Capone. Yeah, that was great. He had all the best lines in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Him and the guy from the guy that the glasses that drank the
My Three Sons. Ernie.
He was great in that too.
Yeah,
I was so sad when he got.
That was
spoiler
horrible.
alert when he died.
Yeah. I've started a new rule, and I'm going to try to make this happen. It's called the 5-year spoiler alert.
Okay.
If a movie's over 5 years old, you don't have to do a spoiler alert anymore. If you haven't seen it in 5 years, you're not going to see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's make that happen, people.
5-year spoiler alert. Yeah, I like that. That's a good rule. And I'd even go 2 years, but we'll knock it to 5. That's fine. But yeah, so yeah, Untouchables. I mean, that's one of the ones that I watch more often than like say Scarface and the others. Because
you're right, Andy Garcia was great in that movie.
It's a fun movie. It's well paced. It's got a great script. Yeah, good flick. Brian,
one of the greatest lines when Mitty gets thrown off the car or off the roof into the car. Ness walks in, and I think Ernie asks, no, it's not Ernie, it's Andy Garcia, says, "Where's Mitty?" He's in the car.
Yeah.
Great line.
Yeah, it had a great soundtrack too. I love that little intro song is fantastic.
What happened to Brian De Palma? He used to make great movies.
Yeah, he did. No, he does crap.
Yep.
But he still makes movies. They're just, kind of under the radar and nobody really watches them anymore.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily bad.
I mean, he was huge there for a while.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. So we're getting to the end of the La Aroma de Cuba, Mi Amor. And
buy some. This is a great cigar.
And I tell you what, the box press really does slow down the burn on this. I'm still not even really to the last third.
Yep.
And I've been talking a lot, but I've also been puffing on it. It's only gone out once on me. I had to purge it, which was sad, but it still tastes great.
Yeah.
And great cigar. If you haven't had one, buy 5, whatever. Call the Calypso Cigar Lounge at
972-761-9903.
And we'll do a deal for you. Buy 4, get 1.
Buy 4, get 1.
Yep. And as always, check us out on Podomatic, iTunes, Spreaker, Slam Internet Radio in stereo.
We always say that together.
And then we got the YouTube videos. Check us out on Facebook at Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge, and like us there.
Comment.
Yes, please. And all of our fans in Chile. Chile?
And it's Chile. And the UK is picking up this week.
Yeah?
There was 17 downloads from the UK yesterday.
Yay. That's my friend. I told him that.
Good day, mate.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for listening to us again. It's always a great time smoking with you guys. And we will see you next week when we're going to review the Gen 2?
Gen 2.
Yep.
The St. Louis Ray.
St. Louis Ray Gen 2. So visit us next week, and we'll talk to you then.